The villainess who cares only about magic circles enters a political marriage with the crown prince to read an ancient grimoire. Episode 12, Marie chooses a dress, resigned to her fate. A few days after Lysette's 6th birthday, the young lady's private room at the House of Sylvain was covered in fabrics of every color. Silk, satin, fine lace, silver thread, tiny pearls. A renowned dressmaker from the royal capital stood there with a full line of seamstresses. And at the center of them all, Marie was burning with determination.
My lady, today we shall choose the gown you will wear to the royal palace ball.
Her voice was intense, so were her eyes. A marquis's daughter, barely 6 years old, was about to attend a royal ball. It was almost a rehearsal for her formal debut in society. As far as Marie was concerned, failure was not an option. Meanwhile, Lysette herself was still facing her desk.
I am listening.
Those who are listening will kindly turn this way.
That is reasonable.
Lysette reluctantly raised her head. On the desk lay a copy of the report prepared for the Royal Academy. Its title read, Preliminary Report on the Unknown Auxiliary Line and Old Form Spellcraft. Marie decided she had seen nothing. Today was for dresses. It had to remain a day for dresses.
Let us begin with this one.
The head dressmaker raised a bolt of pale peach fabric. It was soft, charming, and seemed perfect for a 6-year-old noble girl.
We could layer lace at the neckline and place a large bow at the back.
Rejected.
Lysette answered immediately. The dressmaker's hands froze.
May I ask why?
The bow is too large, it will interfere with the back of a chair. It will also get in the way when I crouch near a wall.
When you crouch near a wall,
There may be magic circles engraved along the lower walls of the royal palace.
My lady,
Marie cut in at once.
today we are not selecting equipment for inspecting the palace's magic circles. We are selecting a dress.
A dress is equipment.
It is not.
It is a fabric structure worn on the body that affects physical performance.
Please stop. When you explain it that way, I feel as though I am losing.
The head dressmaker covered her mouth. She was laughing, a true professional.
then my lady, what would you prefer?
Freedom of movement, an unobstructed view, a hem that stays out of the way near the floor, narrow cuffs, and one hidden inner pocket for documents.
An inner pocket.
Marie's voice dropped.
What exactly do you intend to carry?
An abridged copy of my report.
To a ball.
As a precaution.
Please do not bring a research report to a royal ball as a precaution.
Then I shall make it small enough to fold.
That is not the problem.
Marie pressed a hand to her temple. But she could not retreat now. Dress selection was a lady's maid's battlefield.
Madam, keep the silhouette clean, the hem light, and the cuffs narrow. But do not sacrifice the dignity of a marquis's daughter.
Understood.
As for the color,
Marie chose one bolt from among the fabrics. Pale purple. In the light, the silk shimmered quietly, as though touched by a single drop of silver.
this one.
The dressmaker narrowed her eyes in approval.
It will suit your hair and eyes beautifully, my lady.
Yes.
Marie gave a quiet nod. Lysette studied the fabric.
It does not appear likely to obstruct observation.
I shall accept that as a compliment.
It was a compliment.
Then I accept it gladly.
The measuring began. Lysette was placed on a fitting platform, while the seamstresses raised and lowered her arms.
My lady, please extend your arms a little farther.
Very well.
Is anything uncomfortable?
My respiratory efficiency is within normal parameters.
Respiratory efficiency.
One seamstress murmured under her breath. Marie smiled with perfect grace.
Pay it no mind. My lady simply means that she feels well.
So she requires translation.
Yes.
She did. At that moment, someone knocked softly at the door.
Pardon me.
The steward entered, carrying a single sealed letter.
It is addressed to the master, but he asked that the young lady review it immediately as well.
A short note had been added in Cyrus's handwriting. The Academy has replied, read it calmly. Read it calmly. That one sentence made Marie's stomach react before anything else did.
My lady.
I will read it.
Still standing on the fitting platform, Lysette broke the seal. The seamstresses stopped measuring. The letter was a response from the Royal Academy's Department of Magical Theory. We have reviewed the preliminary report submitted by your house. The improvements to the illumination and irrigation circles are of interest. However, the evidence concerning the unknown auxiliary line is currently insufficient. Our department was also unable to reproduce the duplication behavior. Furthermore, in light of Mr. Emil Gallen's past research tendencies, his seal of approval will be treated as a reference opinion only. Therefore, the unknown auxiliary line hypothesis will not be adopted as a formal topic of discussion. The room fell completely silent. The dressmaker, the seamstresses, Marie. No one could find a word to say. They had not laughed merely because the report came from a 6-year-old, nor had they ignored it entirely. But they had removed its most important part. The unknown auxiliary line, duplication, a magic circle on another layer. That alone had been rejected for insufficient evidence.
My lady.
Marie called to her gently. Would she become angry? Would she cry? Surely this had hurt her. Lysette read the letter once more. From the first line to the last. Her fingertips pressed the edge of the paper just a little too firmly. A small crease formed in the thin parchment. A fragment of sealing wax on the desk snapped in Lysette's hand.
I had hoped for a little more.
Her voice was small.
And I find it objectionable that Emil's name was treated as a mark against the report.
That honest feeling surfaced for only an instant before she drew it back in. Then Lysette spoke quietly.
They were unable to reproduce it.
What?
The Academy could not reproduce the duplication behavior. To them, that means the phenomenon does not exist.
Her voice was calm, but her eyes had gone cold. It was not anger, nor was it frustration. Those were the eyes of a mind beginning to calculate.
Emil's seal was insufficient to strengthen the report's credibility. His reputation as a heretic may even have counted against it.
Marie's heart ached. They had dismissed the work when they saw Emil's name. Lysette already understood that.
My lady, are you not frustrated?
I am.
The answer came at once. Marie caught her breath.
But frustration is not evidence.
Lysette folded the Academy's letter and placed it on the desk.
What we need is a model spell that produces the same result for anyone. If the Academy failed, I must reduce the conditions until the Academy can reproduce them.
In other words,
After the report comes a reproducibility experiment.
From the platform, Lysette looked toward the seamstresses.
Please continue measuring.
Oh, yes, my lady.
However, please make the inner pocket slightly larger.
Marie twitched.
my lady.
It will hold the model spell papers for reproduction.
At the ball,
As a precaution,
your number of precautions has increased.
it is important.
Marie closed her eyes and drew a deep breath. She had thought it would be a good day. That morning, it truly had been. But not anymore. A wall of research now stood before them in the form of the Royal Academy. That evening, after the measuring was finished, Lysette returned to her desk. Marie and the dressmaker quietly continued refining the pale purple gown. Lysette's attention, however, had already moved elsewhere. She wrote a title on a fresh sheet of parchment. A model spell for third-party reproduction of the unknown auxiliary line. Beneath it, she listed the conditions. Output no more than 1/100th of the full spell. Attributes, compare both light and water. Auxiliary line, removed, added, and phase-shifted versions. Observations: presence and timing of duplication, monoconsumption, and residual lines. Objective: establish a procedure reproducible at the Academy. Lysette stopped her quill. The Academy had refused to recognize it. The unknown auxiliary line had been excluded from formal discussion. Emil's name had invited suspicion rather than trust. It was a failure. But failure was information.
I see.
Lysette murmured softly.
If they cannot understand it, I simply have to break it down until they can.
Marie watched her small back from across the room. So small, still only 6. And yet her back had not bent. It was a little frightening, and it made Marie a little proud.
My lady,
What is it?
your gown will have one inner pocket. Only one.
I require 2.
One.
One for the model papers and the other for my recording sheets.
One.
Marie refused to yield. Lysette considered the matter.
Then I will keep the recording sheets in my sleeve.
My lady.
That was a joke.
That pause just now was entirely serious.
Lysette did not answer. The Royal Academy still was not looking her way. Even when it looked, it did not believe. Then she would make the evidence impossible to ignore. That became her next research objective. For the first time, the 6-year-old villainess had collided with the wall of research. And rather than smash it, she decided to measure it first. Episode 12, Marie chooses a dress resigned to her fate, end.